In this video, I'll show you how I created this multi-layered scene card using the contents of the Hero Arts My Monthly Hero May 2023 kit. Hi, this is Anna from Crafty Anna Studio. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I post card making and paper crafting tutorials. Now let's take a quick look at this month's kit. This month's kit's theme is all about the freedom and joy of childhood. And if you're an 80s girl like me, then you will love this. Each kit has a printed card that lists the contents of both the classic and the premium kits, as well as some project inspirations. In the classic kit, we have a 6x8 stamp set with the images of bikes, balloons, little animals, as well as fun sentiments to create with. Then we have the coordinating die cuts, which cuts out all the images in the stamp set. This kit also comes with 3 sheets each of glitter cardstock in aqua and rose gold. Then we have a 6x6 stencil in a flower design. 3 pigment ink cubes in pink, yellow and teal, and a packet of clear embossing powder. For the premium kit, you get everything in the classic kit plus additional goodies. 2 sheets of 8.5 by 5.5 holographic cardstock, tri-fold fancy dies to create layering scenes, and 4 sheets of bicycle hero transfer sheets to create some quick and easy cards. Now let's make a card using this kit. First, the background using the stencil in the kit. I place the stencil on top of a 4.25 by 5.5 cardstock panel, then flip it over and secure on all sides with washi tape. For this, I will be ink blending using Splash Reactive Ink. I load up the blending brush with ink, then tap it gently on the side of the stencil, then blend starting at the very edge, moving inward. I will concentrate the blending on the upper part of the panel and then use leftover ink on the brush to blend towards the middle. I remove the stencil and washi tape. Then I use a 3.5 by 4 3/4 rectangle die, which is from the Rectangle Infinity die set, to die cut it out, creating a frame for my card. Off camera, I had already die cut a white panel of cardstock using the 2 3/4 by 4 inches rectangle die. This will be the middle layer of the scene. Then I take the background panel and place it on a stamp positioning tool or MISTI, and I will use the picket fence stamp to stamp out a row of fence across the card panel. I place the fence stamp at the very left, about an inch above the bottom of the panel. I close the door of the MISTI to pick up the stamp, then ink it up using wet cement dye ink. I stamp it once, then I will stamp it one more time for better coverage. The ink may seem splotchy at first when wet, but it will dry smooth and with good coverage. I continue to stamp the fence across the panel. Then I will stamp the sentiment, "May your year ahead bring many adventures," using the same wet cement ink. Now I will stamp out all the other elements I will need for my scene. I start with the grass. I place the grass stamp on the bottommost part of the A2 size white cardstock panel. I will use Green Apple Reactive Ink to ink up the stamp. To create a subtle ombre effect, I dab the upper part of the stamp with a dry microfiber cloth. Then, to intensify the color a little bit more, I will stamp it a second time. Then I will rotate the cardstock to the other side and stamp out another row of grass using the same ink and technique. Then I take the bicycle frame stamp and place it on the cardstock panel. I will do some heat embossing, so I will prep the cardstock panel with anti-static powder before stamping the image. I will use yellow pigment ink for this. I ink up the stamp very generously before stamping, and because the pigment ink stays wet for a period of time, I can sprinkle it with embossing powder directly on the stamped image, then heat emboss it using a heat tool. After heat setting it, I place the stamp with the wheels and handlebar using the little gaps in the stamp to guide me in the placement. It's fairly easy to do. I then ink up the stamp using the same gray ink, wet cement, and stamp it twice to achieve a darker gray as the ink does dry a lighter shade. Then I will stamp the spokes of the wheels. If you're finding this video useful so far and are enjoying it, I would be so grateful if you could hit the like button or drop me a comment and subscribe. It would really help me out. Thanks! Some of the ink from stamping the spokes did overlap with the bike frame, but because the frame is heat embossed, it resisted the ink and it was easy to just wipe off with a dry cloth. Off camera, I stamped and heat embossed the rest of the elements I needed for the scene. I die cut them all out using the coordinating frame cuts. Now I will add acetate and foam tape to the back of the frame. I already did this for the topmost frame and I will show you how I did it with this one. First, I flipped over to the back of the frame. I then added a generous amount of liquid glue all around the frame before adhering the acetate, which was already cut to the same size as the card panel. Then I will add foam tape all around the edges. This is the same technique I use when making a shaker card. To create the scene, I will start with the first layer. To figure out the placement of the grass, I put the frame on top first. Then lay the grass down so I know that when I adhere it to that spot, the bottom of the grass will not show through. The nice thing about this technique is that you are building up the scene as you build up the layers. So it's important to know that the elements in the back will not be hidden by the elements in front of it. That's why I'm constantly checking. Once I glued down the grass, I snip off the edges sticking out on either side. But before I continue, I will adhere this first to the middle of an A4 side folding note card. Then I will add some more elements before adhering the frame. A pink cloud in the upper right side. Then I check once again if it's in frame, then make the necessary adjustments. I will also add a small teal flower on the left side of the fence. Next, I will peel off the release paper at the back of the frame. If you're not confident in aligning the frame to the card panel, a useful trick is to add liquid glue to the foam tape before placing it down. This will give you a little bit of wiggle room before pressing it down completely. I align the edge of the frame with the edge of the card panel, and once it's aligned, I slowly press it down. There are other ways to do it, but this is how I do it and I'm successful most of the time. For the next layer, I will add the grass at the bottom but slightly below the other one. I check again with the frame and make the necessary adjustments before pressing it down completely. Then I will add one more cloud, but this time at the upper left, just slightly below the other cloud. And then add one more teal flower. Then I add the topmost frame. I had already removed the release paper. I didn't put glue as I'm confident I will be able to align it. So again, align on one side first before pressing it down. I will add the final elements to finish off the card. First, the bicycle at the bottom right side above the frame. Then a third pink cloud right below the first one. Then lastly, a small pink flower below the teal ones. And this is my finished card. I find this is a great scene building technique and has a fun shadow box effect. The acetate in each layer makes the elements of the scene look three-dimensional. If you enjoy creating these layered scenes for your cards, I have another video linked above that you can check out. In that video, I use one crafty product from the hardware store to die cut my elements. If you're interested in the Hero Arts products I used in this video, I have it linked in the video description below. As of this posting, the premium kit is no longer available, but the classic kit is still in stock. I have a full list of supplies for my blog post, which is also linked below. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, bye!